Superman was the careful combination of those elements which were popular in many other folk heroes. Like the Shadow, Superman had a dual identity. He was, for the most part, Clark Kent, a mild-mannered reporter for the Daily Planet, the large newspaper in the city of Metropolis. As you remember, the Shadow was, in reality, Lamont Cranston. Like the dual identity of Don Diego de la Vega, who dressed in dramatic black to become Zorro, Clark Kent wore red, white, and blue when he appeared as Superman. Zorro, incidentally, first appeared in the early 1920s. In addition, artist-authors Siegel and Schuster also borrowed the superhuman, superpowered elements of Hugo Danner, a leading character in the novel Gladiator, which was published sometime earlier than the initial appearance of Superman. In spite of the fact that Adolf Hitler coined the phrase Superman to describe his powerful army, American youngsters took to this new folk hero. To say that the public response was favorable is something of an understatement. The Action comics sold by the hundreds of thousands. The daily radio series attracted thousands of listeners, and 2 completed motion picture serials were made in the early 40s, all about the Man of Steel. Although by 1949 there were over 1,000 comic book heroes alone, this character stood out as a leader. Such continuing popularity carried him through live-action television to short animated films on Saturday mornings. But let's remember Superman as he was, in those days before the atom was split, before we conquered outer space, when comic book stories had plots instead of long fights. We are in the office of the Daily Planet.
That finishes the lead story, Jimmy. First National Bank robbed. Bank guards disappear mysteriously. Have you got the pictures ready?
Sure, Miss Lane. But I mean, how exciting can these photos be? After all, the only people around were the tellers and the vice president of the bank. There's still no sign of the missing bank guards.
I know that, Jimmy. But I've got a hunch that may land us a real scoop on how these guards have been disappearing. You rush this down to the press room and then meet me in Mr. Waite's office.
Are you really onto something, Miss Lane?
I think so, Jim. Hurry with that copy. I want to get to Mr. Waite before anyone else does.
Okay, Miss Lane, I'll meet you in Mr. Waite's office.
I don't care what he says. I have a newspaper to run here. No, he can go to blazes.
Let me guess. That was Mr. Bogle of the Metropolis Banking Association.
Yes, but don't worry, Bill. I won't ride roughshod over your department.
Thanks, Perry. But I've been hearing from both the commissioner and the mayor. They're upset at this 3rd bank robbery, and even more upset that 3 more bank guards have disappeared. That makes a total of 14 men.
And you have no idea who's responsible for these robberies.
That's the real problem, Perry. We've got a very good idea who's at the bottom of this.
You have? Who?
Zoltan.
Great Caesar's ghost. I thought Zoltan was dead.
So did we, Perry. So did we. But eyewitnesses have picked Zoltan out of our mug books time after time. He's made no effort to conceal his identity with a mask. It must be Zoltan and his gang again.
Lord Zoltan went with mere armed robbery. It's not like him at all. He's usually connected with some harebrained scheme of epic proportion. You sure, Tim?
Quite sure, Perry. You see?
Yes. Who is it?
Are you really busy, Chief?
Of course I'm busy. I'm always busy.
This won't take but a few minutes. Hello, Inspector Henderson. I hope I'm not interrupting anything too important.
Not at all, Miss Lane. Won't you take my chair?
No, thank you, Inspector. I'll just be a moment.
What is it, Lois?
Chief, I have a great idea. It has to do with the robberies and the missing bank guards. You haven't come up with some new clues, have you, Inspector?
No. As a matter of fact,
What is it? What is going on here? Come in.
I got back as fast as I could, Miss Lane. Have I missed anything?
No, Jim. As a matter of fact, I was just about to explain my plan to Mr.
Good
White.
heavens, what's going on here? What plan were you going to explain to me, Miss Lane?
Okay, Chief. I've covered every one of these bank holdups with Jimmy. It seems that these robbers are operating in some sort of pattern. They've held up the 3 largest banks in Metropolis. correct, Inspector?
You're so right, Miss Lane.
Well, then it would stand to reason that the Merchants National Bank would be next. It's one of the largest banks, and it hasn't been robbed yet.
Possibly, Lois, possibly. But your reasoning isn't all that good. Even if it is the next target, what do you plan to do?
I want you to let Jimmy and I go there for a few days on a stakeout. I want to be ready to really get the goods on Zoltan and...
How did you... I mean, what makes you think that Zoltan has anything to do with this?
Well, I thought... That is, I checked and...
You were eavesdropping again, Miss Lane?
Well, perhaps I was, Chief, but the idea was there even before I heard of Zoltan. You've got to give us the chance.
Too dangerous.
No, Mr. White, I'll be there. I'll protect Miss Lane.
Great Caesar's ghost. Some protection you'll be.
It's not that bad of an idea, Perry. As a matter of fact, we've assigned our own men to the Merchants National Bank. A detailed plainclothesman, that is.
You think he will strike there next?
Who knows for sure, but it's a good bet.
There, you see, Chief? There'll be extra men assigned to the bank. Jim and I will be safe, and the planet will get an exclusive on the capture of Zoltan.
Well, I don't know.
Aw, please, Mr. White.
Well, I suppose.
Thanks, Chief. Come on, Jim.
Olson, what's the use?
Hi, Clark.
What's that all about?
That's some initiative, Clark Kent. Not many of our reporters show around here.
Oh, I see. How are you, Inspector Henderson?
Fine, thanks.
Seriously, Mr. White, what are Lois and Jimmy up to?
They're going to the Merchants National Bank. Lois seems to think that's where Zoltan will...
Zoltan?
I didn't mean to say that, Kent.
That's quite all right, Perry. Everyone else seems to know around here.
Zoltan is dead.
Apparently not, Kent. Inspector Henderson here seems to have sufficient evidence to prove that Zoltan is still alive. He has some men staked out in Merchants National Bank.
Well, I'd better go along, just for protection.
You'll do no such thing. I need you here.
But, Chief...
No buts, Clark. There are plenty of Inspector Henderson's men there. The police will take care of it. In the meantime, get back to your office, and I have some things for you to check on.
All right, Chief. There's no guarantee that Zoltan will strike. And I guess Lois and Jimmy are safe.
Of course they are. Besides, how could you possibly be more protection than the police? Who do you think you are? Superman?